Commander David Russell stood at the bridge of the UES Hyperion, his eyes fixed on the massive display screen before him. The coffee in his cup had gone cold hours ago, forgotten in the tension of the moment. Alien ships had appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system, and now everyone waited for their next move. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," Communications Officer Emily Martinez called out, her fingers dancing across her console. "It's being broadcast on all frequencies." "Put it through," Russell ordered, straightening his uniform. The bridge crew fell silent as the alien message began to play. The aliens appeared on screen. Tall, blue-skinned beings with 4 eyes and metallic armor. Their leader spoke in perfect English, though their mouth movements didn't match the words. "Primitive species of Earth," the alien began, their voice dripping with contempt. "We are the Galactic Confederation, rulers of 5,000 worlds. You will surrender your planet and accept your place in our hierarchy. Your technology is crude, your weapons primitive. Resistance would be pointless." Chief Engineer Lisa Carter let out a quiet laugh from her station. The aliens didn't know about the Hyperion's true capabilities, humanity's greatest secret. "Sir," Carter spoke up, "they're scanning us, but they can't see through our quantum shielding. They think we're running on regular fusion power." Russell nodded, a small smile playing at his lips. The Hyperion looked like a simple warship from the outside, but inside, it housed technology that would make even advanced alien species jealous. The quantum core that powered their ship was leagues ahead of anything the Confederation had shown in their initial scans. "Send our response," Russell ordered, standing tall. "Keep it simple." Martinez typed quickly, then looked up. "Ready, sir." "Galactic Confederation," Russell spoke clearly. "Earth respectfully declines your offer. We are not interested in surrender or submission. We suggest you reconsider your approach to first contact." The alien leader's 4 eyes blinked in surprise. They clearly weren't used to being refused. "You dare reject our generous offer?" The alien snarled. "Your species has barely reached your own moon. Your ships are primitive. Your weapons are toys compared to ours. We have conquered species far more advanced than you." Russell remained calm. "Perhaps, but appearances can be deceiving." The alien transmission cut off abruptly. Moments later, Carter's console lit up with warnings. "Sir, they're powering up weapons," she called out. 50 ships just jumped into the system. They're calling it a subjugation fleet. Russell took his command chair, finally feeling in his element. "Looks like diplomacy has failed. Sound general quarters. All hands to battle stations." The Hyperion's corridors filled with the sound of the battle alarm. Crew members rushed to their posts as the ship's quantum core hummed to life at full power for the first time since its installation. "They're broadcasting again," Martins reported. "They're giving us 1 hour to surrender or they'll open fire." Lisa Carter looked up from her engineering station, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "Sir, should we show them what a primitive human ship can really do?" Russell smiled as he watched the alien fleet arrange itself in a standard attack formation. They were so confident, so sure of their superiority. They had no idea that the single human ship they faced had enough firepower to take on their entire fleet. "Send one final message," Russell ordered. "Keep it short and sweet." Martinez nodded, waiting. Russell cleared his throat and spoke words that would soon become famous across the galaxy. "You really should have asked around about humans before trying to invade us." The bridge crew couldn't help but smile. The aliens had made a serious mistake today. They had threatened Earth. Soon, very soon, they would learn just how dangerous that was. As the hour countdown began, Russell watched his crew prepare for battle with calm efficiency. The Hyperion might look like a simple warship to alien eyes, but they were about to learn a harsh lesson about underestimating humanity. The galaxy was about to realize that humans were anything but primitive. Captain Amy Foster walked through the gleaming halls of the UES Hyperion, running her hand along the smooth metal walls. As the ship's new tactical officer, She still couldn't believe she was serving on humanity's greatest achievement. The Hyperion wasn't just a warship. It was Earth's masterpiece. Captain Foster. Lisa Carter called out, waving from the engine room doorway. Want to see what makes this beauty really tick? Foster smiled and followed the chief engineer inside. The engine room was massive, but its center held something extraordinary. A swirling blue core of pure energy, contained within multiple layers of crystal and metal. The quantum core, Carter said proudly, gesturing to the pulsing heart of the ship. While those Confederation fools are still using basic fusion drives, we've got this beauty. One core produces more power than their entire fleet combined. Foster watched the energy dance within its container. And they really can't detect it. Not a chance. Our quantum shielding makes us look like we're running on old fusion power. They think we're primitives. Carter laughed, her eyes bright with excitement. Wait until they see our dark matter cascade system in action. An alarm suddenly blared through the ship. Commander Russell's voice came over the speakers. All hands to battle stations. This is not a drill. Captain Foster, report to the bridge immediately. Foster ran through the corridors, crew members rushing past her to their posts. When she reached the bridge, Russell stood studying a tactical display showing hundreds of red dots approaching Earth. They'd brought reinforcements, Russell said grimly. 500 ships this time. Looks like our little show of force yesterday wasn't enough to convince them. Sir, Communications Officer Martinez called out, incoming transmission from their flagship. The alien commander appeared on screen, all four eyes narrowed in anger. Your primitive vessel managed to damage several of our ships yesterday through what must have been luck. Now you face the true might of the Confederation. Surrender now, or be destroyed. Russell looked at Foster. Captain, show them why you're the best tactical officer in the fleet. Foster took her station, fingers flying over the controls. The Hyperion's weapon systems came online one by one. Systems the aliens couldn't even detect, let alone understand. Dark matter cascades charge, she reported. Phantom drive ready. Quantum torpedoes armed. All systems green. Russell stood tall. Send our response. Martinez smiled as she typed. The Hyperion respectfully declines. Again. The alien commander's face turned dark with rage. You leave us no choice. All ships, open fire. 500 energy beams lanced toward the Hyperion. But Foster was ready. Her hands danced across the tactical controls, and the ship's phantom drive engaged. To the alien's shock, their beams passed right through where the Hyperion had been. Impossible, the alien commander shouted. No ship can move that fast. Foster's voice was calm as she reported. Dark matter cascade targeting solutions ready, sir. Show them what Earth's primitive technology can do. Captain, Russell ordered. Foster pressed the firing control. Streams of dark energy erupted from the Hyperion's weapons ports. Unlike normal weapons, these beams ignored shields completely. 10 enemy ships exploded in the first volley. The alien fleet scattered in panic, their neat formation breaking apart. They had never seen weapons like this before. Their sensors couldn't even tell what was hitting them. They're trying to regroup, Foster reported, watching her tactical display. Shall we show them the quantum torpedoes next, sir? Russell nodded grimly. The Confederation needs to learn that threatening Earth was their biggest mistake. Fire at will. As Foster launched another attack, she couldn't help but smile. The aliens had brought 500 ships to fight one Earth vessel. Soon they would realize that wasn't nearly enough. The pride of Earth was about to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget. Security Officer Brian Miller rushed through the chaos on the bridge of the Hyperion, carrying a data tablet that could change everything. Enemy ships exploded in the viewport behind him as Captain Foster continued her relentless attack. Commander Russell, Miller called out, his voice urgent. I found something in their shield frequencies, something big. Russell turned from the main view screen, where another group of Confederation ships had just exploded. What is it, Miller? Their shields, They all use the same basic pattern. It's like they haven't updated their technology in centuries. They never expected to meet anyone with better tech than theirs. Miller handed over the tablet, his hands shaking with excitement. "We can use this." Foster's voice cut through their conversation. 30 enemy ships destroyed, sir, but they're learning. They're starting to coordinate their attacks better. Russell studied Miller's findings, his eyes widening. "Lisa," he called to Chief Engineer Carter over the comm, "can you use this to boost our dark matter cascade's effectiveness?" "Give me 5 minutes." Carter's excited voice came back. "This is perfect." The ship rocked as several enemy beams finally managed to hit them. The quantum shields held, but the crew could feel the impact. "They're getting better at predicting our phantom drive jumps," Foster reported, her fingers dancing across her tactical console. "We need that upgrade now." Miller watched the battle unfold on the main screen. The Confederation ships had finally realized they were in real trouble. Their neat formations had broken down into chaos. Some ships were trying to retreat while others pressed their attack with desperate fury. "Upgrade ready," Carter's voice sang out over the comm, routing new targeting data to tactical. Foster's face lit up as her console changed. "Oh, this is beautiful. Firing dark matter cascade. Modified pattern." The Hyperion's weapons fired again, but this time the effect was devastating. Instead of just piercing the enemy shields, the dark energy beams shattered them completely. Ships that had been merely damaged before now exploded instantly. "Their shields are useless," Miller explained, watching his security readings. "The new frequency is making their whole defense grid collapse." Russell allowed himself a small smile. "Send a message to all Confederation ships," he ordered Martinez. "Tell them they have one chance to retreat. After that, we stop being nice." Martinez transmitted the message. The response was immediate. Over half the remaining enemy fleet turned and fled, their engines glowing as they escaped at full speed. "The rest are still coming," Foster reported. "They think we're bluffing. 100 ships remaining on an attack vector." "Show them we're not bluffing," Russell ordered. "Full spread, new frequency." Foster's hands flew over her controls. The Hyperion's weapons erupted in a dazzling display of power. Dark matter cascades ripped through space, shattering shields and hulls like they were made of glass. When the light faded, 70 more enemy ships had been destroyed. The remaining ships finally got the message. They turned and ran, their retreat so hasty that 2 of them crashed into each other. "Enemy fleet is in full retreat," Foster announced, unable to keep the pride from her voice. "Confirmed kills, 105 ships. Not bad for a primitive species." Miller looked at his tablet again, still amazed by what they had discovered. They really never thought anyone could beat their shields. They've been using the same technology for so long, they stopped trying to improve it. "That's the problem with thinking you're superior," Russell said, watching the last enemy ships disappear. "You stop learning, stop growing." Humanity never stopped. The bridge crew cheered as the last enemy ship vanished from their sensors. The first major battle was over, and Earth's single warship had emerged victorious against overwhelming odds. But Miller noticed Russell wasn't celebrating. The commander was watching the stars with a serious expression. "Sir," Miller asked, "is something wrong?" "They'll be back," Russell said quietly. "And next time, they'll bring everything they have." This was just the beginning. The crew fell silent, realizing he was right. They had won the first battle, but the war was just starting. The galaxy was about to learn just how dangerous it was to underestimate humanity. Science officer Karen White couldn't believe what she was seeing on her monitor. The Confederation's secure channels were lighting up with panicked messages. After 3 days of studying their communications, she finally had a clear picture of what was happening. "Commander," she called out, turning to face Russell. "You need to see this. They're mobilizing everything they have. Every ship, every fleet. They're calling them all in." Russell leaned over her station, Reading the translated alien messages, his face grew serious. "How many ships?" "Over 2,000, White replied, her voice quiet. "The largest fleet they've ever assembled. And sir, they're scared. Really scared. I've never seen aliens this frightened before." Lieutenant John Cooper spoke up from his station. "They should be scared. They've never lost before. And now one human ship has destroyed hundreds of theirs." The bridge fell silent as everyone processed this information. The Hyperion floated in space near Mars, its quantum core humming softly as they prepared for what was coming. "Lisa," Russell called over the comm to engineering. "How are those upgrades coming?" Chief Engineer Carter's voice came back, tired but excited. "Almost done, sir. The new quantum torpedo launchers are working perfectly. And wait until you see what I did with the Phantom drive." "Sir," Martinez cut in from communications, incoming transmission from Earth Command. The main screen lit up with the image of Earth's military leadership. Admiral Rogers looked grim. "Commander Russell, we've detected massive fleet movements across Confederation space. They're coming with everything they have." "We know, sir," Russell replied. "The Hyperion is ready." "Are you sure?" the Admiral asked. "We could try to build more ships, given time." "There is no time," Russell said firmly. "And the Hyperion is all we need." Lieutenant Cooper stepped forward. "Sir, I've been studying their battle tactics. They always follow the same patterns that work for centuries because no one could match their technology. But we can, and I know how to use that against them." Russell nodded to Cooper. "Show me." Cooper pulled up a tactical display, showing various ship formations. They attack in waves, always the same way. Their commanders can't adapt quickly because their hierarchy is too rigid. If we hit them here and here, he pointed to specific spots, their whole formation will fall apart. "Good work, Lieutenant," Russell said. "Get with Captain Foster and plan our attack strategy." White's console beeped again. "Sir, more decoded messages. The Confederation. They're fighting among themselves. Some of their member species are refusing to join the attack. They're saying one human ship destroying their best fleets proves humans are too dangerous to fight." Russell smiled slightly. "They're learning, but not fast enough." The ship's intercom crackled. "Commander," Carter called from engineering. "Upgrades are complete. You're going to love this. The Phantom drive can now make micro-jumps every few seconds. They won't be able to track us at all." "And the quantum torpedoes?" Russell asked. "Each one has the power of a small sun," Carter replied proudly. "Plus, I've added a little surprise. They split into multiple warheads just before impact." Martinez turned from her station. "Sir, message from the approaching Confederation fleet. They say they're going to make an example of Earth, to prevent any other primitive species from daring to resist them." The bridge crew looked to Russell. Their commander stood tall, looking out at the stars where soon thousands of enemy ships would appear. "They still don't understand," he said quietly. "They think numbers alone will save them. But humanity didn't get to the stars by backing down from bullies." He turned to his crew. "Prepare for battle stations. We're going to show the galaxy why you should never threaten Earth." As alarms sounded throughout the ship, White looked again at the frightened messages from the Confederation. They were bringing their biggest fleet ever to destroy one human ship. She smiled, almost feeling sorry for them. They still hadn't realized that one human ship was more than enough. Engineer Robert Hayes watched in awe as 2,000 Confederation ships appeared from hyperspace. The massive fleet filled the view screen, their ships stretching as far as the eye could see. It would have been beautiful if they weren't all here to destroy Earth. Multiple enemy contacts, Captain Foster announced from tactical. They're forming into attack positions. Commander Russell stood calmly at the center of the bridge. "Time to show them our new tricks." "Mr. Hayes, is the experimental quantum torpedo system ready?" "Yes, sir," Hayes replied, double-checking his readings. "All 5 launchers are loaded and ready. Each torpedo is set to split into 8 smaller warheads. The enemy commander's face appeared on the main screen. This time, it wasn't just one alien, but 5 different species standing together. Their leader, a tall, purple-skinned being, spoke first. "Humans," it said, "you have fought well, but this ends now. Surrender your ship and your world, or we will destroy everything." Russell didn't even bother responding. "Foster, initiate attack pattern Cooper 1. Hayes, prepare to fire torpedoes on my mark." The enemy ship started moving, forming a massive sphere around the Hyperion. They thought they had the human ship trapped. "Phantom drive engaged," Foster called out. The Hyperion vanished just as thousands of energy beams hit its previous position. Hayes held tight to his station as the ship jumped rapidly through space. Thanks to Lisa Carter's upgrades, they could now make short jumps every few seconds. To the enemy, the Hyperion seemed to be everywhere at once. "First wave of quantum torpedoes. Fire," Russell ordered. Hayes pressed the launch control. 5 torpedoes shot out, each glowing with blue energy. Just before hitting their targets, each torpedo split into 8 smaller ones. 40 warheads struck the enemy formation. The explosion was blinding. When the light faded, over 100 enemy ships were gone. "Their formation is breaking," Foster shouted excitedly. They didn't expect the torpedoes to split. The Confederation fleet scrambled to regroup, but Lieutenant Cooper's prediction was right. They couldn't adapt fast enough. Their rigid battle plans fell apart as the Hyperion danced between their ships, striking and vanishing before they could respond. "Dark matter cascade is charged," Foster reported. Firing. More enemy ships exploded as the enhanced weapon cut through their shields like they weren't even there. The Confederation's massive fleet advantage meant nothing against weapons they couldn't block or dodge. "Sir," Martine is called from communications, "I'm picking up panic in their fleet channels. 3 of their battle groups are retreating already." Hayes watched his engineering displays carefully as the battle continued. The quantum core was performing perfectly, providing more power than the entire enemy fleet combined. Every few minutes, they launched more torpedoes, each spread destroying dozens of enemy ships. The battle lasted for 2 hours. By the end, over 800 Confederation ships had been destroyed. The rest were running away as fast as they could. The bridge crew cheered as the last enemy ship disappeared. They had done it. 1 human ship had defeated the largest fleet in galactic history. "Damage report," Russell asked quietly. Hayes checked his systems. "Minor damage to our outer hull plating. All critical systems are running at full power." "Sir, we could do this all day if we needed to." Martinez turned from her station with wide eyes. "Commander, you need to hear this. I'm picking up transmissions from all over Confederation space. Word of the battle is spreading. Several member species are declaring independence. They're saying if 1 human ship can do this, they don't want to be on the wrong side when the rest of our fleet shows up." Hayes couldn't help but laugh. "Should we tell them the Hyperion is our only ship?" "No," Russell said with a small smile. "Let them worry about that. Fear of our fleet might keep the peace better than any weapon." The crew grew quiet, realizing what they had achieved. In one battle, they had changed the balance of power in the entire galaxy. The age of Confederation dominance was over. And it was all because they had underestimated humanity's potential. Communications officer Emily Martinez hadn't slept in 2 days. The messages kept coming in from all across the galaxy, too many to process. Every alien species seemed to be talking about the Hyperion and its impossible victory. "Sir," she called to Commander Russell, "you need to hear some of these transmissions. The whole galaxy is in chaos." Russell walked to her station, looking at the flood of messages on her screen. "What are they saying?" "Everything," Martine said, sorting through the translations. "The Vex Empire is pulling out of the Confederation. The Zarn Collective is asking for Earth's protection. Even the Drachnids, who never talk to anyone, want to open diplomatic channels. Lieutenant Cooper joined them, bringing up a galaxy map on the main screen. Entire sections were lighting up in different colors as alliances shifted and changed. The Confederation is falling apart, Cooper explained, pointing to different regions. They ruled through fear for so long. Now everyone's seen that they can be beaten, and it's all breaking down. Chief Engineer Carter's voice came over the comm. Commander, we're getting technical requests too. 3 different species want to know if we'll share our quantum drive technology. They're offering their own tech in exchange. Russell smiled slightly. What happened to us being primitive? Martinez's console beeped with a new priority message. Sir, incoming transmission from the Confederation High Council. They're asking for a ceasefire. The main screen lit up with the image of the Confederation leaders. They looked different now, no longer proud and arrogant, but worried and tired. Their spokesperson, a tall blue-skinned alien, spoke first. Commander Russell, the alien said, trying to sound dignified. Recent events have caused us to reconsider our position regarding Earth. Have they? Russell asked calmly. And what position would that be? We are prepared to recognize Earth as an independent power, the alien continued. We will withdraw all claims to your territory and offer formal apologies for our hasty actions. Martinez kept translating other messages as the conversation continued. Sir, she whispered to Russell. They're terrified. Their own people are revolting. Everyone thinks Earth must have a whole fleet of ships like the Hyperion hidden somewhere. Russell kept his face neutral. And what else does the Confederation offer? The alien leaders looked at each other nervously. We would be willing to discuss technology exchange. Perhaps humans have some ideas that could benefit us all. And in return, we ask only that you do not support the rebellions breaking out across our territory. Some stability must be maintained. Russell was quiet for a moment. The Confederation ruled through fear and force. Maybe it's time for something new. I'll bring your offer to Earth's leaders, but I suggest you start treating other species with more respect. After the transmission ended, Martinez looked up from her station. They really don't know, do they? They still think we have more ships like this. And we will, soon enough, Carter said over the comm. With all these species offering their technology, plus what we've learned, we could build a whole fleet of improved Hyperions. Cooper studied the galaxy map, where more systems were declaring independence every hour. The galaxy's changing, all because they thought one human ship would be easy to destroy. Russell watched the chaos spreading across the stars. They made 3 mistakes. They thought numbers meant everything. They stopped trying to improve. And worst of all, they threatened Earth. Martinez's console beeped again. Sir, more messages coming in. Everyone wants to talk to Earth now. They're calling us. They're calling us the species that broke the Confederation. The ones who prove that superior numbers don't always win. Send them all the same response, Russell ordered. Tell them Earth is willing to talk with anyone who comes in peace, but remind them what happened to the last group that tried to bully us. The bridge crew smiled as Martinez sent the message. In just a few days, humanity had gone from a primitive species to one that every alien race wanted to befriend. All because they had learned, far too late, the true power of humanity's worship. 1 month after the Great Battle, Commander David Russell stood in the Hyperion's observation deck, watching ships from 20 different alien species orbit Earth. They weren't here to fight. They were here to learn, to trade, and to make friends. Still hard to believe, isn't it? Captain Amy Foster said, joining him at the window. A month ago, they thought we were primitives. Now they all want to be our best friends. Commander, Lisa Carter called out as she entered, holding a datapad. Wait until you see what we've learned from the alien tech exchanges, the quantum core we designed. We actually got it half wrong. But our mistake made it better than the right way. Russell smiled. That's humanity for you. Sometimes our mistakes turn out to be our biggest breakthroughs. Security Officer Brian Miller rushed in, excitement clear on his face. "Sir, the first diplomatic meeting is about to start. Everyone's waiting in the new Galactic Council chamber." The four officers walked together through the halls of the newly built Earth space station. Alien visitors stepped aside respectfully as they passed. Some even bowed to the crew of the ship that changed everything. "Look at them all," Martine said, joining the group. "Confederation species, independent worlds, even the ones who used to hate each other. All here, all wanting to work with us." They entered the massive council chamber. Representatives from 50 different species sat in a circle, with Earth's seat at the center. The former Confederation leaders sat quietly in their section, their arrogance replaced by careful politeness. Russell took his place at the speaker's podium. The room fell silent. "1 month ago," he began, "the galaxy was ruled by fear. The strong dominated the weak. Progress had stopped because no one dared to think differently." He paused, looking around the room. "Then one ship showed that numbers aren't everything. That innovation beats stagnation. That the ones you call primitive might surprise you." The aliens listened intently as he continued. "Earth doesn't want to rule through fear like the old Confederation did. We want to learn from each other, to grow together, to explore the galaxy as equals." Chief Engineer Carter stepped up next, displaying images of the new ships Earth was building. Not weapons of war, but ships of exploration and science. The aliens murmured in approval. "We're taking what we've learned from all of you," Carter explained, "and combining it with our own ideas. Together, we can go further than any of us could alone." Lieutenant Cooper showed the new trade routes and defense plans next. "Earth will help protect any peaceful species that asks," he announced. "The days of bullying and conquest are over." The chamber erupted in applause. Even the former Confederation leaders joined in. Later, back on the Hyperion's bridge, the crew watched the diplomatic ships departing. "Hard to believe it all started with them, demanding our surrender," Martine said, monitoring the departing ships. "They thought quantity beat quality," Miller added. "They thought because they had thousands of ships and we had one, they would win easily." "They thought wrong," Foster said proudly. "And now the galaxy's a better place for it." Russell looked at his crew, the engineers who made the impossible possible, the tactical officers who outthought their opponents, the communications experts who built bridges between species. Every one of them had helped change the galaxy. "The Hyperion will always be remembered," he said, "not just for winning a battle, but for starting something new. A galaxy where species work together instead of fighting, where being different isn't seen as being primitive. And if anyone else thinks about bullying Earth," Carter asked with a smile, "then we remind them what happened to the last group that tried," Russell answered. "But I don't think we'll need to. They finally learned their lesson." The crew watched Earth below them, beautiful and peaceful. Around it, ships from across the galaxy moved in harmony, no longer divided by fear and power. The galaxy had realized too late the power of humanity's worship. But in the end, that realization had led to something better than victory. It had led to peace. And it all started because someone underestimated humanity.